Hey, 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 happy Wednesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the Grand Poobah. And of course, I was running around today and I forgot to jump in and open up a chat window. Yeah. Well, okay, so we have a little hiccup here to start off with. Let me go over here. Hopefully everybody's having a great hump day so far. I knew I was forgetting something, but you'll find out why. I wasn't set up here because I've got a special. I mentioned it to some folks on a previous show, so I'll just type in a good old happy Wednesday. There we go. Yeah. So anyway, there we go. Got chat going. Get rid of that. Perfect. Kind of funny because it was. I glanced off to the side. I'm like, oh, shit! I forgot to open up a chat window. It happens. It's a live show. That's right. It is a live show, and I talk about tabletop gaming. For the most part, every once in a while, a little bit of PC gaming, maybe talk about some pop culture things, but for the most part, it is just about all tabletop gaming discussion here. It is very, very casual. It is not rocket surgery whatsoever. I do get a kick out of, I said brain surgery on the last show, and somebody was like, wait a second, you didn't say rocket surgery. What have you done with Jeff? It's like, I was changing things up a little bit. Anyway, tonight is Wednesday, January 22nd, 2020. This is episode 429 of The Daily Dope. Because this is a live stream, do want to mention chat is available on YouTube. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But I do pay attention to chat as best I can. So, of course, if you've got a question or a comment, or maybe you just want to say howdy, by all means, chime in. I will do my best to respond. And, of course, when you are not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, and when you are, hopefully you like them, so you give them a thumbs up. But when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. All right, so it is a fresh Wednesday. It is hump day. I did not do a show last night. I did explain why. There was a memorial service, so I was not hanging around. I did not get back in time to put together a show. So my apologies for that. I might not have a show Friday night either. So I will know more in the very near future. Anywho, so we've got Flaming Heron in chat. We've got Robert Carroll arriving in chat. Howdy. Right back to you, Robert. Good to see you joining us tonight. So, a lot of stuff going on. I do want to mention after the news, I am going to take a first look and page through Yaah magazine number 13. And that'll be the only time I do the Yaah, because I get a kick out of it. I don't know if everybody else does, but so we are going to actually take a look. We're going to take a look at the Battle of Hue that is in here as well. I keep wanting to joke around and say the Battle of Hue. Watch people freak out. It's not Hue, you idiot. I know it's not. Anyway. So, Kabuki Kid is in chat as well. And I also got my new laptop arrived yesterday. It is pretty sweet. It is very, very nice. So I will probably show that off at some point in the near future. But it's got enough horsepower, it's got enough graphical horsepower as well for me to bring it with and actually stream from the laptop as opposed to the desktop that's here in the Duct Tape Studios. So, and I'll be able to render videos while I'm at conventions and stuff like that. So usually I have to wait until I get back from a show. A lot of times that's kind of a pain. I'll get back and I'll have like 15, 20 videos I need to process. And it's sort of like, wow, I got to do all of these like bang, bang, bang. And it's kind of overwhelming sometimes. So the laptop is going to handle that very nicely because it'll be able to do stuff while I'm sleeping, while I'm out having a cocktail or grabbing dinner, stuff like that. So very, very cool. So got a bit of news tonight. We might as well jump right on in. We've got a good selection, good variety of news as well. So first off, do want to point out, Renegade Game Studios has revealed they've got a new game in partnership with Oni Press. Here's a dope on Space Battle Lunchtime Card Game. Say that 5 times fast. In partnership with Oni Games, Renegade Game Studios is excited to announce the upcoming release of Space Battle Lunchtime Card Game. Space Battle Lunchtime Card Game is based on its namesake graphic novel, which I assume is Space Battle Lunchtime. I don't think the card game part is in the title of the graphic novel. Anyway, the graphic novel is by Natalie Reese, I believe that's probably how it's pronounced, about Earth Baker Peony, who gets the deal of a lifetime when she agrees to be a contestant on the universe's hottest reality TV cooking show, Space Battle Lunchtime. In the game, players will face off as contestants in the intergalactic cooking competition show. They'll collect and combine flavor cards, create the perfect prize-winning dish, trying to impress the alien judges with their creativity. Designed by Daniel Solis, Wonderland Junk Orbit, and illustrated by Space Battle Lunchtime creator Natalie Reese. Episodes of the game last about 30 minutes, starring 2 to 5 competitive cooks who have orbited the Earth's sun at least 10 times. Chefs can begin cooking when the game releases in May. So allow me to kind of translate that. So, Space Battle Lunchtime Card Game is for 2 to 5 players, ages 10 and up, plays in around a half hour, will carry an MSRP of $25 when it does arrive in May. Do want to mention that Renegade Game Studios is involved in Board Game Expo, which is something new. It's actually, if I understand correctly, and I have not gotten like the entire scoop on this, but I believe it is actually run by the same folks who do Free Comic Book Day, I think. And what it is promoting tabletop gaming, specifically board games, at your friendly local game store. This is going to take place on April 4th, and Space Battle Lunchtime is, I believe, going to be available for early release at participating game stores that are taking part in Board Game Expo. I believe there's more than just this going to be coming from Renegade Game Studios. I don't know. I kind of think so. But, of course, once I know more, you will as well. It's going to be kind of fun, right? A quick 30-minute game. Kind of if you're into, like, Iron Chef kind of thing. Speaking of Iron Chef, I have to say that... So, of course, now I've got this graphical beast of a laptop. I was like, okay, well, now I'm going to make sure I pick up some pretty cool, beefy graphic games. So I picked up Monster Hunter World. So I started playing it last night. I don't know if anybody out there is real familiar with the game, right? And it is a Japanese game, so it's got a little bit of that kind of wonkiness, which is okay. It doesn't matter. But they have this race of cats who are anthropomorphic animals, right? And you're at your home base, and you go and you can get a meal from the canteen, and the chef is one of these cats. And when it's like a new meal that you haven't had before, they do this just bizarre cut scene of these cats like, it's like making your meal. It is hysterical. I swear to God, I almost peed myself. And I saw that the first time. Because it was like Iron Chef and cats. It was just wacky. So, and of course I suck at the game so far. I've only been playing it for a few hours, but I'll probably play around with it a little bit tonight as well. All right, moving right along. Let's get into our, because I have like a piece of fuzz or something on my nose here. Gotta love all the dust and dryness and cold in the Duct Tape Studios. What can I tell you? Anyway, moving right along, let's move on to our next news piece, because up for crowdfunding for Gray Fox Games is Tortuga 2199. Here's the dope. Planetary Registry, Tortuga, former Interstellar Confederations. English, Jeff. Let's speak English. Tortuga, former Interstellar Confederation's mining colony, aggressive environment and fauna. The planet is located inside the neutral buffer zone of Omega Sector. Since the Miners' Rebellion, the planet is under control of insurgents and pirate clans. Visiting is highly discouraged by Confederation ships. Tortuga 2199 is a deck-building, exploration, and area control game for 2 to 4 players. Play as the pirate captain of a spaceship. Your objective is to become the most powerful captain and have all of the disunited pirates' clans join your cause. Upgrade your ship and hire new crew members. Explore and conquer different sectors of the planet. Fight space beasts and board other captains' ships. And all of the above increases your influence and helps you reach your goal. Good luck, Captain. Sails to the space wind. Tortuga 2199 has a quick Kickstarter video. It's only about a minute and a half. So let's take a peek.
Warning, damage critical. Initiating evasion hyperjump. Destination point, planet. Type, D. System type, D.
Hey, a new guy. Welcome to the most beautiful planet, made for folks just like you. Clean air, rich culture, and a whole lot of trouble. Let's dock and roll and welcome to Tortuga. Can't wait to get your hands on some goods, but first, get yourself a ride. Folks around the globe just happen to need help settling a few issues, getting rid of some pests, catching a big fish. Well, kinda. Cash and fuel, that's what's highly prized here. But your real goal is authority. Ain't that swell? Partners and friends, faithful and mostly sober. You might even find someone in the local social search app. Gather a gang, collect some credits and loot. Buy a stead. Or maybe a few of them. Still not enough? Maybe the whole planet. Good. Just have a little chat with our mayor, and then you will become the real ruler of Tortuga.
Tortuga 2199 is for 2 to 4 players, ages 12 and up. Plays in around 60 to 90 minutes. This project is already funded. It is past about the 160% funding level, I believe, last I saw it. You can reserve a copy of the game, plus a free 5th player expansion, which I believe is going to normally carry an MSRP of $25. You can get both of those, as well as all unlocked stretch goals, for a $59 pledge through February 13th. Expected delivery is a pretty quick turnaround on this. It's expected in August. Nice. Very cool. I like deck building games. I like deck building games that do something a little bit different too. That's why I'm a big fan of Clank, a deck building adventure. I really definitely dig that. I like Hero Realms. I know we were talking about the Star Realms Kickstarter last week. It's funny. I'm I'm a bigger fan, actually, of Hero Realms than Star Realms. And I know that puts me in the minority, but still really like that game. So this looks like it could be pretty interesting as a deck builder, area control as well. So a few more people popped into chat. We've got Rob German as well as Viper Dave have arrived as well. It's been a while since we saw Rob hanging out in chat. Good to see you. But anyway, so I have to laugh. So Flaming Huron, it's kind of like, Jeff playing Monster Hunter World? Didn't pick you enjoying that at all. I didn't say I'm super enjoying it. I just said, actually, I just started playing it. So, but yes, I've actually got quite a few different things that I got. If you're curious, not that I'm really going to be like reviewing them or anything. Damn, that fuzz is just like, I think I got it. I think I got rid of it. Anyway, I was gonna say I got a few different things. So I got Monster Hunter World because I heard good things about it. I got the Outer Wilds because I've heard really good things about that as well. Civ, is it Civ 6? I think it's Civ 6. Anyway, I already had it, but it didn't run very well on my laptop. And I hate sitting down here playing games because it's just weird. But, so I got that, and I'm thinking of getting Planet Zoo, because I keep hearing some very cool things about Planet Zoo. So, yeah, you know. And of course, I always have some strategy game stuff going on. All right, moving right along. So Kabuki Kid had also mentioned that they're playing Dragon Quest Builders, which is sort of like Dragon Quest, which I've never played that, crossed with Minecraft, which I've never actually had any interest in playing. But that's pretty wild. But there's something else that I think is coming out or just came out that's sort of like a Minecraft kind of building, crafting, but it's got a bit more actual story to it. So that's one of the reasons why I'm not into things that are just complete sandboxes. Like Minecraft, my head doesn't wrap around that. I'm not knocking it at all. I mean, I don't care for the graphics, but that's just me. I grew up with those kind of graphics. I don't need to go back to those kind of graphics. You know, younger people who didn't have to play games on a Commodore 64 are like, oh, wow, these graphics are fun. These are cool. And I look at it, I'm like, So, anyway, so Rob says that it looked like Tortuga 21.99 could be a cool game. There is way more information on its Kickstarter site, so that'll get you up to speed. There's only so much that I can share. Plus, it's another one of these projects that all the info is in images, so it's nearly impossible for you to pull, text off of these images. And I'm sorry, I don't have time to sit there and like reciting, typing, transcribing, I guess I should say, the text that's on these images. So, alrighty. So Kabuki Kid says, no love for the old Pirates game on C64. Are we talking about Sid Meier's Pirates? Because that really wasn't sandbox. And what I mean when I say when I say truly sandbox, I mean that you can kind of do anything, and it's all just random. I understand Minecraft at night, like the monsters come, and there are tons of mods, and I get that. I get it. It's just I've never been. Yeah, everybody's got their own like niche of console and computer games that they like. It's like I'm a big sports fan. I love sports games. I used to play MLB The Show all the time against people online. Yeah. And then I was no-hitting a guy in the 8th inning, and of course they rage quit. And I was like, yeah, thanks a lot. All right. Okay, so anywho, there's a new deluxe edition of the classic card game Cabo. It's arriving next month from Bezier Games. Here's the dope. Spy, swap, and peek to find Cabo the Unicorn in this fun, addictive, and simple card game. The player with the lowest total wins, kind of like Uno. This deluxe edition features amazing artwork, 2 decks of unique card backs, a full-color, oversized score pad, and a high-quality 2-piece box, as opposed to a 1-piece box. This new edition does have some upgrades to the original gameplay. I think originally it was 5 players, it's down to 4 players. But there are 2 decks of cards with different backs, because that'll help speed up the game so that one player can shuffle cards while the other actually deals. So I believe you're going through these decks pretty quickly, so that's why you got the 2 decks. So it has new artwork and supposedly has a better table presence. Cabo Deluxe Edition is, as I mentioned, for 2 to 4 players, ages 8 and up, plays around 45 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of I believe it's $19.99. And I think this is out now. I am not positive, but I believe it is. Kabuki Kid's like, Cabo Wabo? Cue the Van Halen. Yes, get Sammy Hagar's tequila out, everybody. So, this could be fun. Yeah, you're looking for a little unicorn. As far as I understand, it's one of these games where you're trying to get rid of cards out of your hand so that you have the lowest score, I believe. I'm not positive. I've never played it. But I like the artwork. The artwork looks kind of fun, kind of cute. So, yes, Kabuki Kid saying yes, the Sid Meier Pirates. Yes, we used to play tons of Sid Meier Pirates. And I always remember how it'd be like, I'd end up like thrown in prison. Every once in a while, he'd get out of prison, early enough so that they could resume the pirate career. But I do remember there were quite a few pirate characters I had that died in prison. So, yeah, I loved Pirates. Pirates was great. So, Ryan Ironwolf is in chat. Good to see you. Welcome aboard. I believe this is your first visit to chat here at The Daily Dope. So, let's jump into some role-playing game news. Because Kobold Press has a massive 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons Bestiary. It's up for funding on Kickstarter, and I've got the dope on the Tome of Beasts 2 Electric Boogaloo. From the creators of the original Tome of Beasts, Kobold Press is wrangling a new horde of wildly original, often lethal, and highly entertaining 5e compatible monsters to challenge new players and veterans alike. The Tome of Beasts will bring 400 new monsters to 5th edition, from angelic enforcers, Sasquatch and shriek bats, to psychic vampires, zombie dragons, and so much more. All Tome of Beasts 2 Kickstarter backers at the $25 level and up can also submit an original monster design for possible publication. In addition to the Tome of Beasts 2 hardcover volume and PDFs, this Kickstarter will fund the creation of monster pawns, VTT versions, monster lairs with beautiful maps, and more. We kobolds love to make bestiaries and monster books. However, it takes time and funds to create a high-quality, art-heavy, playtest-owned, rules-crunchy volume of 5th edition monsters. And printing a product of this size calls for some financial clout. We're kickstarting it to make sure we have the funding necessary for a small, medium, large, huge, or even gargantuan print run as required. With your support, we expect to deliver a big hardcover book, a juicy and useful PDF, and plenty of extras. Thanks to our prior outings with the original Tome of Beasts and the Creature Codex, we have a seasoned team of skilled 5e monster designers and testers, so you can expect even more innovation and fresh ideas to challenge your players no matter what their level. The Tome of Beasts 2 Layer Book provides quick one-map encounters with creatures from the Tome of Beasts 2. Playable as standalones, each layer describes a mini-adventure with hazards, terrain maps, adventure hooks, and more to showcase the Kobold Press creatures, and some standard ones too. There is a quick PDF video from Kobold Press, about a minute and a half, a little less than a minute and a half. We'll share some more images and give you a better idea of Tome of Beasts 2.
The Tome of Beasts 2 from Kobold Press introduces nearly 400 new monsters to 5th edition, created by some of the most talented and wildly imaginative designers working today. Inside this massive compendium, you'll find creatures for almost every location your heroes can possibly encounter. From farmlands to forests, through dungeons and deserts, to bustling cities and fantastical planar realms. The second Tome of Beasts brings you angelic enforcers, thin giants, befouled weirds, clockwork tigers, horde drakes, zombie dragons, death vultures, dragon flesh golems, imperial dragons, swordbreaker skeletons, swamp nagas, magma octopuses, sasquatch, shriekbats, walled horrors, and wraith bears. Keep your players excited, surprised, and or terrified with all new opponents they've never seen before, and ones they certainly won't expect. Help us launch the Tome of Beasts 2 for 5th edition and join the Horde today.
Currently, the Tome of Beasts 2, or maybe we should say Part 2, is past the 400% funding level, and you can score the supplement as well as the Encounters book as PDFs for a $35 pledge, or get both physical books for a $75 pledge. I need a sip here, jeez. You can get both the books for a $75 pledge through February 21st. Another fairly quick turnaround. This is expected to be delivered in November. So, Kobold Press has some really, really nice stuff. At least their artwork always looks good. I always share, I can't say I share news about everything they release, but I do share a good amount of news from the company. I've never had an opportunity to take a peek at any of their stuff. I would like to. I think it would be pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yes, I do want to mention Pinky is floating around down here. You may have caught her earlier, and now she's back for a return engagement. Yes, she's my pal today because I gave her a little bit of chicken. So whenever I give her a little chicken, she's always excited. She's always kind of my buddy for the next few days. She's an oddball cat. All right, my last news piece. Modiphius Entertainment is teaming with Bethesda Softworks once again. It's time for a new RPG. Here's the dope. Modiphius Entertainment is proud to announce the launch of a new tabletop role-playing game set in Arcane Studios' Dishonored video game franchise. The game has been developed using a streamlined version of the company's proprietary 2D20 system. Oh, why is this so... Just seems so very... the company's proprietary 2D20 system. This news piece is from Modiphius. I'm not sure why they're not... why are they kind of referring to themselves almost like in the third person here? Anyway, the system has been popularized by award-winning Star Trek Adventures and Conan Adventures in an Age Undreamed of role-playing games, and is slated for release in the second quarter of 2020. In close collaboration with Dishonored's co-creative director, Harvey Smith, Modiphius has worked with a diverse selection of writers and artists, some of which have already worked alongside Arcane Studios on the video game series, ensuring that the final product will live up to the fans' expectations, while at the same time allowing them to explore the Empire of the Isles through a new lens. Award-winning rules developer Nathan Dowdell, I almost said Dowell, it's Dowdell, has adapted the 2D20 system for Dishonored, focusing on fast-paced storytelling and showcasing the strange powers of the void and the ever-present chaos mechanics, all under the banner of the new Momentum system. Modiphius assembled a team of talented creatives led by Federico Sans to bring the essence of Dishonored's universe to the, almost said laptop, to the tabletop. The Dishonored role-playing game will be released in a deluxe, table-friendly hardcover digest book. Uh-oh. No, well, that doesn't look like digest size. Containing everything players will need to jump straight into the streets of Dunwall, with a comprehensive guide to storytelling in the Isles, and a series of adventures that will take them on a journey of drama, intrigue, deception, and occultism. Along with the book's release, there will be custom dice and other accessories to add to the experience. So far, that is all I know about this game. The core book should clock in at 300 pages. Do know that. And we should expect a Q2 release. Outside of that, that's pretty much it. That's what I know. So as soon as I know more, so shall you. But this was the announcement this morning. And we all know Modiphius does some really, really cool RPGs. I am kind of curious, though. How well do some of their role-playing games that are based on other kind of like gaming properties do? So like Infinity. I know they're always releasing Infinity stuff. I wonder how well it sells. Or if it sells better in other languages than it does in English. I don't know. So anyway, so Rob Sherman, when we were talking about the Tome of Beasts Part 2, that juicy PDF. Yes, as I saw that today, I was like, okay, juicy PDF. All right, good deal. So, Kabuki Kid says, I got the Dishonored video game, never played it. I heard Dishonored 2 is the one that's really, really good. And here the funny thing is, I know I'm shocking many of you out there that you're finding out that, wow, Jeff actually does also play like PC games. Yeah, I have for 105 years. I have been playing computer games since I was 10, 11, somewhere in that vicinity. So yes, so for a very, very long time, longer than I've been playing tabletop games. So yeah, don't worry, I'm not going to turn this into like a PC game show. Yeah, a politically correct game show. There we go. Duh. But, Flaming Heron says, I just hope they're all successful, but I don't know how comprehensive it's going to be as far as this Dishonored RPG. So, right, so at this rate, every setting is going to have a role-playing game release. Yes, from Modiphius Entertainment. Don't forget. Yes, Kabuki Kid mentions they got into D&D in 1981. That was, I think it was like 79 for me. I think it was 79 that I started playing. And I've mentioned this before, and I will jump into our little special bonus in just a moment. But I was going to say that I have mentioned before that my brother was actually the first one. My older brother, he's 2.5 years older than me, was the first one to actually play Dungeons and Dragons. So I was kind of introduced to it through his friends. And I want to say, I think it was like in 6th grade. Because by 8th grade, I was actually bringing in like the SPI games, the Monster That Ate Sheboygan, to play in class when I had downtime. I think that was, pretty sure that was, I was still in grammar school then. Maybe I was in high school. I remember. All right. Anyway, yes, the Magenta Box. Errol Otis art. Yes. And Errol Otis used to get in trouble for some of the artwork. What is the one that's kind of famous for having the artwork censored? I can't remember the adventure. It's like the orange cover is the one where it's like, ooh, look out, ooh. All right, so Will Burton has arrived in chat too. Good deal. We got a good chat going on. Nice. Kabuki Kid. Actually, I played Advanced D&D. Is what I got into. I had a friend in high school who ran basic, but he was like a super pushover dungeon master, so it wasn't much of a challenge because you just like Monty Hall your way through everything. And I was like, oh yeah, here you go. Here's all the other, all the stuff. Yes, Kabuki Kid B3, Palace of the Silver Queen, or some. Yeah, it is something along those lines. Is the adventure that Errol Otis's artwork kind of got TSR in a little bit of trouble. A lot of people forget that there was a little bit of nudity thrown in here and there in the old days of Dungeons and Dragons, because it was not aimed at kids. It was aimed at college age or older. So, yes, the Monty Hall Dungeons. That's right. Yes, and the Etten artwork with Gary Gygax as one of the heads. Yes. All right, so, as I mentioned, as a special treat tonight, it's a Wednesday. We'll make it kind of a Wargame Wednesday. I am going to take a first look. We're going to page through Yaah Magazine, issue number 13, which is from Flying Pig Games. This does include the solitaire game, The Battle of Hwei, and can be ordered from Flying Pig Games website right now for $40. You can also download this as a PDF from Wargame Vault for $15. Since I am talking about Wargame Vault, do want to mention that the Gaming Gang and thus the Daily Dope are affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to go to, say, Wargame Vault or Drive Thru RPG or DM's Guild, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banners. That way, if you do make a purchase, I get a little piece of the pie. Little bit. Yep, no Dan tonight. We had Dan on Monday for a while. He was hanging out. I don't know. Maybe he's got some Dice Tower stuff he's got to take care of. I don't know. So Robert Carroll is chiming in. Got that issue earlier this week. It's their first issue of Yaah. Interested in my take? Well, I'm not doing a review tonight. This is not a review. This just arrived day before yesterday. So I am going to crack this open. I am going to show it off, simply because a lot of people they wonder, okay, so what's the deal with the Yaah Magazine? Well, here we go. I've got Yaah Magazine. So one thing I do want to also mention is, not that you can see it on your end, but I had recently changed stuff around in the Duct Tape Studios. So I used to have the table that I did my unboxings and reviews and things like that over here. And that's why when I would do unboxings and reviews on the show, I'd be like, okay, let's move over to the other camera. Well, I've moved some stuff around. I got a much wider table in front of me. So now I can actually do the videos right in front of me. Do want to mention, there might be a few milliseconds difference in the video of me speaking and the video of me taking a look here. It's a little tricky as far as taking care of this, simply because the this video here of the magazine actually is a bit faster than the video of me talking. So let's see what we got. So we got some maps. Looks like we got, so this stuff here is for the Battle of Hwei. So we'll look at that when we get to that. It should be at the end of the magazine. So this issue, like I said, this issue's full game, the Battle of Hwei. Refight one of the most epic battles of the Vietnam War. So we've got Platoon Commander Deluxe, 1066, Tears to Many Mothers. I was going to say, it's got to be a Hastings game. I guess it is. I was going to say, if that's the title of the game, I am not familiar with that. Pavlov's House. Okay, so Mark H. Walker's Platoon Commander Deluxe, The Long Road, coming to Kickstarter, spring of 2020. I should also mention that, what is it? La Resistance. Should be coming to Kickstarter soon from Tiny Battle Publishing. I want to say it's Tiny Battle Publishing because Flying Pig Games and Tiny Battle Publishing are both Mark H. Walker presentations. So we've got a little bit of letter from the editor. Oh, look at this. This page is popping out here. That's not good. So I understand that Eddie Carlson over at Flying Pig Games had asked, hey, Jeff, could you do us a favor and kind of really show off the magazine? Because they were very, very proud of the work that they had put into this issue. And one of the things that I know is back are scenarios and things like that for the Flying Pig Games series of titles. So I think we get some stuff for Knight of Man. I think we get some Platoon Commander Deluxe. So here we talk about the Battle of Kirsch game, which is excellent. Very, very nicely done. Alone into the Inferno. All right, you. Come on. See, I don't want to... With that first page almost popping out, I don't necessarily want to be pushing down on this. It looks like the rest of the binding is okay. So, Stalingrad Inferno on the Volga, and Dan versus Pavlov's house. I have to admit, it's always cool because we see in Yaah magazine a lot of times Dan versus Games gets some love, which we don't see enough of in wargaming, I guess, corners or circles, which I don't understand why. Dan versus Games have always been really good. Now, granted, I have not played every single Dan versus game, but I have played and reviewed a few, and I always enjoy them. I really like them. And Down in Flames, which, of course, Dan versus Games has Down in Flames, and GMT has Wild Blue Yonder, which are very, very similar. Which actually, I was gonna say, I don't think it's called Down in Flames at Dan versus Games anymore. But it is the same dogfighting World War II card game, which is fantastic. We love it. So, but yeah, I mean, I hear people always talking about like decision games, which in my opinion are almost always garbage. I hear people talking about decision games way more than I hear them talk about Dan versus games. And I don't know if it's because of strategy and tactics, which was not any great shakes. But I don't know. All right, so we got actually a pretty long article here about Horse and Musket. What a long, strange trip it's been. Oh, let's talk about the fantasy trip. That's right, I forgot. There's a big article about the fantasy trip Legacy edition that was released, and I got an impression that they are going to really say, "Wow, this is great." Okay, so the fantasy trip is a welcome and refreshing reentry into modern RPG repertoire. Seriously? Sorry, that's ass kissing right there. Sorry, guys, that's some refreshing modern repertoire. The fantasy trip is creaky and old and dull. Man. Oh, a little too much rose-colored glasses and nostalgia there, gang. So, Will Burton says Dan Verson designed those early games for GMT. Yes, he did. Rise of the Luftwaffe. Was it Zero? Because I bought them. I think there were 3 of them, and I paid like top dollar on the secondary market for them because I was introduced to, I think it was called Down in Flames, the Down in Flames series. I was introduced to it one year at Consim Expo in Tempe, Arizona, and I was like, wow, this is a blast. And so yes, so Will says yes, it was called Zero. There's 3, if I remember right. I think one is. Then we got Rise of the Luftwaffe. We've got the 8th Air Force, and then it was 0. I think those were the 3 releases. So here we go. You Sank My Battleship, a review of General Quarters 2. All right, cool deal. Nice. I love naval miniatures games. I introduced my nephew and his friends to Fletcher Pratt's naval war game. What was it? It was about 2 years ago. And they had a blast. We've played it a few times. But yes, and I used top-down just cutouts on like plastic sheet that I cut out. Hey, but still looks pretty good. I mean, I can't afford all these naval miniatures and stuff. I do still have some really, really tiny, I think they're 1/6000th scale naval miniatures. So what are we looking at here? We're looking at Battlefield Ops. So a lot of talk about games we love. MacArthur's Defeat, the Battle for Luzon. There we go. Here we go. Got the Devils to Pay designer notes from my pal Herman Luttman. Nice. Very cool. Kabuki Kid says Naval Miniature War Games where Armor Class came from. Actually, yeah, it kind of is. So we've got some photos from Herman, and Herman wrote this article as well. And this is part of what's this series called? The Swift Sword? Terrible Swift Sword? Or is it just Swift Sword series? Because I know Terrible Swift Sword was an Avalon Hill title. So, actually, The Devils to Pay was one of my favorite games, 2019. It's in my favorite games video. So we've got an explanation of some rules from Night of Man. Huh, that's interesting. It says, I've always enjoyed playing Night of Man, and I intend to design a sequel this year. Currently, we're revisiting the rules, smoothing the burrs, trimming the fat. I never thought Night of Man's rules were all that difficult to grasp. I don't know. Another game from Flying Pig Games I really liked. Another title that's got big, chunky counters. You can easily read them. Speaking of easily reading things, it's kind of cool that I've got these new contacts. They're sort of bifocal contacts. So I don't have to throw on some reading glasses anymore. But my long distance vision is not as good as it was with the other contacts. So I'm kind of like, and I realize I spend way more time looking at stuff close up than I do far away. So a Dark War skirmish scenario, a historical scenario for 65. That is Flying Pig Games' excellent Vietnam game. Speaking of Vietnam, here is the Battle of Hue, Clearing the Triangle. So as I mentioned before, this is a solitaire game. And it uses the same mechanics for the most part as Raid on Ramadi, which is from Tiny Battle Publishing. As you can see, this is not some, because a lot of times you'll be like, oh, and it includes a free game, and the free game is like 3 pages of rules, and it's crap. As you can see, there's a bit to this game. It's not just, oh, here's a couple of pages of rules. So we've got looks like we've got some information about some of the counters here. A reinforcement schedule. We've got historical notes. All right, and a bit of a bibliography. Then we have a final article, The Explosion in Professional Wargaming. There we go. I mentioned this earlier. Coming soon. La Resistance. Which, like I said, I thought it's coming in February. So here we've got our player aid chart. for Hui. So we've got that right here. We've got, looks like this is tracking sheets, single side. So we've got units available for operations, expended, assets. Got a victory point track for the US, game turn track, and operational constraints. We've got the map. That's kind of cool. I like that. It's pretty nice. We've also got some counters. Looks like we got some cards as well. So what I'll do here is, and once again, these are nice, big, chunky counters. Oh, here we go. Got some new cards for the Knight of Man. So that's cool. If you've got Knight of Man, like I do. If not, it's like, oh, I guess I got these cards. All right, so let's we'll zoom in a little bit. Let's take a closer look at this map. Bring this in a little bit. There we go. So, it's the Anti-Tuberculosis Center. It's the battle around the Anti-Tuberculosis Center that flowed over into the provisional prison. All right, so we've got the counters here. Like I said, nice, big, chunky counters. Dual-sided, and these are cut really nicely because as I just picked this up, the counters were trying to pop out. So there we go, got that there. And then we've got actually 2.5 counter sheets. So we've got the American forces right here. So I do appreciate where we get a little iconography behind the image. So I dig that. I am not a huge fan where the counters are just iconography. I find that to be kind of boring. And I'm always one of these people who I'm always looking for ways to introduce conflict simulation gaming that people who would not normally kind of, I don't know, kind of even be, I don't want to say interested, but who would probably not gravitate towards those sorts of games in the first place. But then you introduce some folks to things and they're like, wow, this is really cool. This is great. I want to learn more about not only playing the game, but the battle and stuff like that. So, Kabuki Kid says, Vietnam isn't my usual wargame flavor. Yeah, I wouldn't say that that's really an era that I jump on into. And I've mentioned this before, and I know I've had people kind of tell me that, yeah, it would have happened. It could have happened. Back like in the 80s and that, we started to see some Vietnam games come out where it seemed like the nuclear option was always like a serious option. And the reality is, would have never happened. And yes, I know there were war plans where we would have nuked, the Vietnamese and stuff like that. Yeah, sure. Just like we had war plans for fighting the British in this, in world, like before World War II. Wasn't that War Plan Red? So yeah, there's war plans for everything. But it used to bug me where it'd be like, well, we got to find a way for the U.S. player to be able to actually win the Vietnam War. And it'd be like, yeah, I used nukes. Yeah, and of course, if the United States had used nukes, we could have said goodbye to, all of our allies. So we've got the Vietnamese, the NVA troops here. Looks like we got some Viet Cong as well. So Kabuki Kids has no love for the NATO icons. I just see like this. I think that looks great. I think that's very cool. I like that design style. If it's just, the icon and then it's like, okay, here's an attack factor, defense factor, and movement factor. It's kind of like, oh yeah, that's exciting. I know, I'm opinionated. What can I tell you? So, I got some informational counters here as well. Again, dual-sided. So I'm taking a stab that these are probably face down until you discover, their strength. Yes, and no corner clipping necessary with these counters. Yeah, I know. I'm a heathen. People tell me all the time because I do not clip my counters. And it's like, I'm sorry, I don't have time to be clipping counters. I know. And I know the gang over at the Player's Aid, they always post, on Twitter and stuff, oh, cutting counters. And it's like, yeah. And they're like, oh, we've been clipping counters for 8 hours. It's like, jeez. It's like, no. Right, so we got the counters, we got the map. We've got the tracking sheet here as well. 2.5 sheets of big chunky counters. Also got those Knight of Man cards. The new cards to add to the deck. Knight of Man is another one of those games that does not utilize dice for combat resolution. Everything's with cards. And then, of course, we've got issue 13 of Yaah magazine. I know, you thought I was going to do the old Yaah. Nope. So this, as I mentioned, is from Flying Pig Games. If you want the print copy, like so, it is $40. Available at the Flying Pig Games website. If you want to do print and play, or if you want to grab the PDF, I guess I can say, you can go to Wargame Vault, and it's available for $15 right now. So Will Burton says, I don't think Grant and Alexander from the Players Aid ever sleep. Maybe not. I don't know. I have no idea. All right, so let's swing back on up this way. So, hopefully, the overhead camera being in front of me looked all right. Hopefully, see what's going on. Like I said, I've been bouncing around. I'm not going to do reviews on the show. Mainly because it's very difficult, because everybody knows I don't script any of this stuff out. Only thing that's scripted is when I'm reading the sell sheet news from these various companies, because I'm not going to just make stuff up, and I'm not going to memorize things. There's no way. But I do not script out my unboxings, my reviews, anything like that. And when I'm doing a review, I go off on tangents easily enough, just without chat, without being live. So I had looked at some of the videos where I was doing reviews before on the Daily Dope, and it was kind of like, wow, man, I forgot to say this, or I forgot to talk about this, or how could I possibly have forgotten to do that? It happens even when I'm not, live, but still, it happens more often when I am live. So I think maybe we'll be doing unboxings and page throughs, first looks on the Daily Dope. I think that's what we'll probably be doing. So Viper Dave says, yeah, hey, camera looked nice. And yes, thank you. Says another great show. The check will be in the mail in a couple of days, Viper Dave. Kabuki Kid says, yeah, camera setup worked nice. Yeah, a little easier to kind of, obviously, it's way easier for me to follow chat when I'm staring, or at least staring down, I can peek up, right? All right, so that is it for the show. Clocked in about an hour tonight. Cool deal. Anyway, as I like to say, if you like this video, please fight the trolls. Give it a thumbs up. And, of course, be sure to subscribe. If you do, don't forget, ring that little bell, because it'll not only notify you of when the Daily Dope goes live, I'll also tell you when I upload some of my standalone videos. Plus, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Everybody who hung out in chat, thank you very much. We had some faces we haven't seen recently, or it's been a little while. Plus, Viper Dave showed up way earlier than usual. Viper Dave pops in, and it's like, good night, everybody. Oh, hi, Viper Dave. So, good to have everybody hanging out. Thank you so much. Anyway, so Even if you don't watch live, I definitely appreciate the time you spend watching my nonsense on the internet as well. So, anyway, as I mentioned, maybe no show Friday. It's not looking promising. But I will be back tomorrow. So, of course, until then, happy trails. Oh, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel by clicking right here. And of course, if you want to catch up on past episodes of The Daily Dope, check out this playlist. And if you'd like to see what YouTube's recommending you take a peek at from the channel, just give a click right over here. Of course, I'm Jeff McAleer, and once again, thank you very much for watching.